One of these bags cost $500 and the other for $5,000. Can you guess which is which? Stay until the end because I'm about to reveal a styling mistake that instantly cheapens even the most expensive bags, and 90% of people make this error without realizing it. After spending the last 5 years studying luxury fashion and emerging trends, I've discovered something fascinating. The price tag doesn't always determine how rich a bag looks. In fact, there are specific design elements and styling techniques that can make a $500 bag appear more luxurious than a $5,000 one. Now, before we dive into specific bags, let's talk about why this phenomenon exists. Luxury perception isn't just about brand recognition. It's about design sophistication, material quality, and something called quiet luxury. This is the concept that true wealth whispers rather than shouts. Quiet luxury represents a fundamental shift in how affluent consumers express their status. It's characterized by flawless craftsmanship, premium materials, and timeless design rather than flashy logos or obvious brand signaling. This aesthetic emerged as a reaction against the logo-heavy fashion of the early 2000s, with discerning consumers gravitating toward pieces that showcase quality through subtle details. Hand-stitched leather, perfectly balanced proportions, and rich textures that speak to those who know what to look for. The movement gained significant momentum among tech entrepreneurs, minimalist influencers, and old money circles who value understated elegance over conspicuous consumption. Think about it. A Hermès Birkin doesn't scream its brand name. Neither does a Bottega Veneta pouch. The most expensive bags often have the most subtle branding, which is exactly what smart, affordable brands are capitalizing on. But here's where it gets interesting, and this ties into our first major reveal later in the video. Some luxury brands have actually become victims of their own success, creating designs that look less sophisticated than their affordable counterparts. First on the list is Pollen. Let's start with Pollen, a French brand that's been quietly dominating the stealth wealth space. Their numero un bag, priced around $460, uses architectural lines and buttery smooth leather that rivals Hermès construction. But here's the genius part. They've avoided the trap that catches many luxury brands. Look at this side by side with an $8,000 Hermès Kelly. The proportions, the hardware quality, even the way the leather ages, they're remarkably similar. But Pollen's minimal branding actually works in its favor. No one can immediately price check your bag, so the quality speaks for itself. Notice the precision of the stitching. Both bags have identical 8 stitches per inch consistency. The hardware weight is nearly identical, and both use the same French box calf leather sourcing. The only real difference: the Hermès has a stamped logo, while Pollen uses an embossed leather patch that's actually more subtle and sophisticated. So, if you carry this bag twice a week for 2 years, you're looking at about $2.20 per wear. Compare that to the Hermès at $38 per wear, and suddenly the math becomes very interesting. But let's look at another comparison. Pollen's seam bag at $490 versus Bottega Veneta's Jodi at $3,200. Both feature that coveted pillow silhouette, but the Pollen actually has better structure retention after 6 months of use. The Bottega, while beautiful, tends to lose its shape more quickly with daily wear. Next, we have Dlier, a British brand founded by a former Jimmy Choo executive. Their mini Venice tote at $395 has been spotted on celebrities. But here's why it photographs so beautifully. The proportions are mathematically perfect. Fashion insiders call this the golden ratio effect. The bag's width to height ratio creates an unconscious sense of harmony that our brains associate with luxury. Meanwhile, their New York crossbody uses the same Italian leather as bags costing 3 times more. Now watch this comparison. Dlier's London tote at $450 versus Celine's belt bag at $3,400. Both feature that minimalist aesthetic with architectural hardware, but look at the leather grain texture. They're sourced from the same Italian tannery in Tuscany. The Celine has gold-plated hardware, while Dlier uses brushed gold. But honestly, the brushed finish ages better and doesn't show fingerprints. Here's another stunning comparison. Dlier's Rome bucket bag at $395 versus Monsieur Gavriel's classic bucket at $595. Both use Italian vegetable tanned leather, but the Dlier has superior interior finishing and comes with a better dust bag. The color saturation is actually more vibrant and consistent across the entire bag. Now, Charles & Keith might surprise you on this list. Yes, it's accessible, but their limited edition and collaboration pieces punch well above their weight class. Their structured top handle bags, particularly in neutral tones, have fooled fashion editors. This structured bag at $89 shares DNA with Saint Laurent's Sac de Jour, which retails for $2,500. The key difference: the hardware finish and interior lining. But from 3 feet away, which is how most people see your bag, the silhouette reads identically. Look at these profile shots, same clean lines, identical handle drop. Even the base width is nearly identical. The Saint Laurent uses Saffiano leather, while Charles & Keith uses a high-quality PU that actually resists scratches better. But here's where Charles & Keith really shines. Their Gabin bag at $129 versus Loewe's puzzle bag at $2,890. Both feature geometric construction and architectural elements, but the Charles & Keith version is actually more practical for daily use. The Loewe, while artistically beautiful, has awkward proportions that make it difficult to carry comfortably. The interior organization tells the real story. Charles & Keith has better pocket placement, a more secure closure system, and ironically, better quality control on the stitching. But let's also talk about some other players that are changing the game. Staud's Shirley bag at $395 versus Jacquemus Le Chiquito at $540. Both offer that Instagram-worthy mini bag aesthetic, but Staud's proportions are more wearable and the leather quality is superior. Wandler's Hortensia at $520 compared to Bottega Veneta's Arco at $3,100. Both feature that distinctive curved silhouette, but the Wandler has better functionality with a more practical interior layout. The leather quality is so similar that fashion editors regularly mistake one for the other in street-style photos. By Far is doing something interesting with their take on classic shapes. Their Rachel bag at $410 versus Prada's re-edition at $1,350. Both feature that vintage-inspired silhouette, but By Far's version has better hardware weight and a more luxurious feel to the leather. And here's where our second major revelation comes in. Some luxury bags are actually working against themselves. Let me show you what I mean. This $4,400 bag from Dlier suffers from what I call logo fatigue. The branding is so prominent that it actually cheapens the overall aesthetic. Compare this to our $500 alternatives, which let the craftsmanship speak for itself. I've noticed 3 specific areas where expensive bags often fail: oversized hardware that looks costume-like, proportions that prioritize brand recognition over elegance, and ironically, leather quality that's actually inferior to some mid-range options. Take the Gucci Dionysus at $2,299, for example. While iconic, the oversized tiger head hardware dominates the design and actually dates the bag. Compare this to a sleek alternative like ATP Atelier's Alma Gold Edition. At $600, the proportions are more timeless, and the leather develops a better patina over time. Or consider the Louis Vuitton multi-pochette accessoires at $2,080. While trendy, the multiple logos and chain combinations create visual chaos. A streamlined option like Manu Atelier's pristine bag at $385 offers similar functionality with much more sophisticated aesthetics. Also, here's what's fascinating. Many luxury brands are so focused on creating it bags for social media that they've lost sight of timeless design principles. We can assume that these seasonal pieces at $4,000+ will look dated in 2 years, while your $500 alternatives will still look fresh in a decade. Now, here's where many people sabotage themselves, regardless of how much they spent on their bag. The wrong styling choices can make even a genuine Chanel look cheap. So let's talk about styling mistakes. Number 1, mixing too many metallics. If your bag has gold hardware, don't pair it with silver jewelry and a bronze belt. The mixed metals create visual chaos that reads as unintentional rather than sophisticated. Next, over-accessorizing. That beautiful minimalist bag gets lost when you add a bright scarf, multiple bag charms, and flashy jewelry. Remember, luxury whispers. And lastly, proportion mismatching. A structured bag needs structured styling. Pairing a crisp tote with a flowing bohemian outfit creates cognitive dissonance that makes both elements look cheaper. Instead, try these combinations. Your sleek Pollen with tailored trousers and a cashmere sweater. Monochromatic color schemes that let the bag's lines shine. Or the one statement piece rule: if your bag is the star, keep everything else understated. Remember that styling mistake I mentioned at the beginning? Here it is. Trying too hard to look expensive. The moment you start explaining your bag's pedigree, adjusting it constantly, or treating it like a museum piece, you've lost the game. Needless to say, true luxury confidence comes from knowing your bag works with your lifestyle, complements your aesthetic, and serves your needs, regardless of the price tag. If you found this analysis helpful, share your thoughts by leaving a comment. And if you like this video, you would definitely enjoy this next one as well.